Thank you for coming out on this very cold night. This should not take us super long, but there is a lot of important information that we want to make sure that we communicate. After the meeting, sometime probably later tomorrow, I will send out another big group email that will have this presentation and a recording of this meeting along with it for anyone that wasn't able to make it tonight. But also, if you want to reference anything again, you'll receive, like I said, a version of the presentation and also the recording of the meeting. So if there's anything that you want to look back on, you will get a copy of that in the next couple days. So welcome. We are a month away from heading to Disney. I'm sure you've all started to look at your packets and have noticed our departure time and are thinking about what that looks like. But in order to do that, that gave us an extra day in the park for the same price that they paid last year. So it gives you more days in Disney, and you will be more exhausted when you come home. So thank you for coming. It is the first night. We're sure. Oh yeah, they're gonna be begging us for bedtime. It's great. Again, students, you can join into this later. You will have constant communication with the chaperone that's assigned to you, which you should have gotten tonight on your little card. But I will also communicate out through Remind, just general directions for the day. It's usually when I need you back at the hotel, or where chaperones are at different times. So I will need you at some point to join the Remind for all students. Parents, if you want to know, you're welcome to join, but you may get hey, we're at this roller coaster if anyone wants to ride with us. So you'll get all our information if you join. In the packet, I color-coded the packet for you. The purple is all about the schedule we're going to follow and packing suggestions. The blue is all the important airport, what you can bring, what you can't bring, TSA regulations. So the blue is all the airport IDs and TSA information. And yellow is Disney information. We try to give you recommendations of what to do with the parks, if you're looking for cheap ways to eat around the parks, you have dietary restrictions. So they're kind of divided in different categories for you. We're tonight really going to talk about mostly purple. And then if you have questions about anything else, we can talk about it. At the end of tonight, if a parent and a student is here, you can hand your contract in to me. This contract is really important to Dr. Burns and I, as it is your agreement of saying you're going to get here on time, you know when we're doing luggage, and you know how to follow the rules that we're going to communicate to you tonight. If just a parent is here, if just a student is here, you're going to have to take that with you and you're going to have to turn it back into me to student activities. I'm going to need everybody to check those boxes and sign off on the contract before we get on the flight to Florida. We will kind of be hunting you down and reminding you to get that contract in. So this contract is very important to us. It just alleviates any issues that we may have. So that is your green piece of paper that you picked up. It will need to be turned in. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, sorry, Emily, I used your name. Sorry, I thought I changed it. Emily's in my group. So you've all got a card that looks like this. This tells you your chaperone. Every chaperone has a different color, and that'll be utilized throughout the entire trip. Your luggage is going to be labeled with a color. So my group is always going to be yellow. Dr. Burns' group is always going to be purple. Mrs. Chivarella's group is green. Right, so every group has a color, and we're going to label your luggage like this when you turn it in. So just kind of keep it in mind what color group you are. The bus number that you are assigned to is your bus every time you get on a bus. We get on a bus to the airport, we get on a bus from the airport to the parks, and then we get on a bus to go back to the airport. Right, so those are the only times that you must be on that bus. You can sit wherever you want on that bus. But we have 3 different buses. We're 150 students going to Disney World with 12 chaperones. So we're about 160 people that we're moving around. So it's important you just kind of stay where you are at the same time. Your My Disney ID number. This is important. I recommend that you take a picture of this card. I have a copy of this number, and you will get a physical Disney card your first night in Disney that'll have this number on it, which will have you take a picture of that also. But now this is where you can get the My Disney Experience app and start making reservations for your dinners out, or this is how you'll make reservations for specific rides. So this is how you're going to want to connect with your friends. Mr. Chivarella, is he in here? Is he still in the hallway? Mr. Chivarella is out in the hallway at Disney, sure, if you don't know him. Any questions that you have about Disney World, ask him. Oh, there he is. You can look back. This is Mr. Chivarella, who's really important when it comes to Disney. He schedules everything I do while we're down there. Right, so just students, if you see him in the hallway, he'll love to talk to you about it. You get the app, we'll make sure you're synced with all your friends, so he's your Disney guy. This is just kind of the rundown, right? We do every 16 kids gets a chaperone that comes. Our chaperones are West staff, and we also have a nurse. That's not in our building, but is affiliated with Cherry Hill. We are in the parks with you, okay? And you will communicate with us when you're moving. We're at the parks, always ready to help if needed. The nurse who's with us has a copy of all the health forms, your insurance cards, any necessary medications. We have 2 of our administrators. Dr. Burns will be there, and Ms. Barnes, your house principal. And during the nighttime, at around 10 o'clock, part of what we pay for is we have a paid security come, and they sit on our floors while we sleep. And in the morning, she slips a little piece of paper under my door that gives a very detailed account of, like, this room opened the door, said they needed water. A raccoon ate the pizza trash at this time last night. No lie, that happened last year. So I get a very detailed account of, like, what doors open. I heard it was 1 o'clock. I heard a lot of giggling coming from this room, right? So it's a very detailed account, but it gives us ease at night, knowing that people are where they should be. Parents, it's ease for you also, knowing that your students are where they should be at night. We'll go over some of those factors. I think the most important page in this entire book is the second page where it says the March 19th and March 20th procedures. Please read over this. I'm not going to go over every single detail. The main thing is that we will be doing luggage checks the night before. We will have a window from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, anywhere during that time, where you can drop off your luggage to be checked. We open it up, kind of male chaperone, female chaperone, whoever you prefer, go through, we just kind of check, make sure we lock it up, and then we lock it in that room overnight. Right? You don't see it again until we pick it up to go to the airport. You want to make sure that you've weighed before you have left. Right? 50 pounds is what you get. If you're over, you can pay at the airport for it. So I'll go a little under because you're most likely going to buy a few things at Disney. When you come and do your luggage check, we are also going to ask for the ID that you're going to use. If you are 18, right, you have to have like a driver's license or an official ID. If you are under 18, your school ID is just fine. They might not even ask you for an ID if you're 17, but you want to have your school ID with you. You can use your license, but we just need to have some ID. You're going to show that to us when you check in your luggage, and we're going to check it 2 more times before we head to the airport. Because your parents are not going to want to call at 3 in the morning, Mom, I'm at the airport, and I forgot my ID. So we're going to check it multiple times before we go. You will get a name tag that I will provide and a ribbon with your color. And I will lock your luggage in the broadcasting room until 2:30 a.m. when I see you again here. Okay, so 2:30 a.m. is when you will, 2:45. You get 15 more minutes. 2:45. You will come back here. We will meet in the theater. You will find your chaperone. They will double check that all of them are here, that everyone is here, and we will check anything that you are bringing for your carry-on. Okay? Once we are all here, the buses are all here, we'll announce you bus by bus. You'll pick up your luggage from the broadcasting room, we get on a bus, and we head to the airport. I don't think it's going to be super crowded on Thursday morning at 6 a.m. However, it is a very fine-tuned process that we do to get through. We are met by our travel agents that will give us our tickets. We will make sure that everything goes smoothly at the airport. When we go to security, we place a chaperone in front, and then about every 15 to 20 kids is another chaperone, making sure that everyone's getting through together. And then we usually put Mr. C or Dr. Burns in the back. But then you go first. I'll probably be in the back, making sure that we all make it through. You'll show your ID when you check in with your chaperone, and you'll check your ID before you get on the bus. Something I want you to think about when you're packing. When we leave here, we're going to get on a plane. When we get to Florida, we're going to get on a bus and we're going right to Universal Studios. Our luggage will come off the plane and go on a truck that will meet us at the hotel when we check in at 8:30 at night. So you're going to have to do a little bit of extra thought process of what's in your carry-on bag, what you want to carry with you in Hollywood Studios, and what you need. If it's cold here, you might want to change into shorts. So you're just going to have to think ahead a little bit about what's in your carry-on, and you're going to have it all day in Hollywood Studios. Universal. I call every park the wrong name. It's Animal Planet, not Animal Kingdom in my head. Right, so you will not see your big luggage until nighttime, and you'll only have your personal item with you on the day. When we're in Universal Studios, we're there all day. You have Universal Studios and Island of Adventure. There's more than enough to do in that amount of time. And then we will meet again at 8:30 to be back at the hotel, and we'll officially check in. That first night, we'll have a pizza party by the pool. Every room gets one pizza, soda, water, maybe a snack. But you'll have dinner provided the first night. Talk about just be aware of the sizes of your bag. Most suitcases that you're going to choose are going to fit the check bag requirements. Just be aware of your personal item, the size that it needs to be, that it's not too big. Again, they'll charge you, I know. And I don't know also fees in airports. We've looked this up. It all depends on where we're flying. They may only accept credit cards, so just kind of be aware of that. I don't know if they'll accept cash for the heavier bags. So when we get there, you're going to receive a Disney card that looks like this. This is your park hopper Disney pass. We won't need it until Friday. The first day we're in Universal, we won't give you this until bed checked on Thursday night. This is a card that you're going to want to take a picture of. It has the same ID number as the card I gave you tonight. But it will be used every single day to get into the parks. You can sync it to your app, but the first day you have to use the card to get in. If you lose it, it's just a process for us to get it back. The chaperone has to go with you. It delays you getting into the parks. If you have a picture of it, it makes that process a lot faster. So we're going to recommend that you take a picture of what we gave you tonight and what we give you the first night at the hotel. Every day when we are in Disney, you will receive a $30 meal card. It can be used at the hotel for breakfast or for anything in any of the parks. When we're in Universal on the first day, you'll get a $20 Universal card for anything that you want to buy. Anything above the 30 or 20 will come out of your pocket. You can deliver, request things to be at the hotel for you. Instacart, DoorDash. Just know that the hotel charges an extra fee for your food. But we often have the first night students come, and maybe their parents have delivered water and just snacks for the room. You can also pack snacks. The number of Uncrustables we see in luggage when we're checking in is crazy, but it's not a bad idea. When you're waiting in line to have some snacks already packed, you can pack them in your luggage and bring them with you. That is completely fine. But you get the $30 a day and $20 for Universal. On your packing list, before I hand it over to Dr. Burns, on your packing list, we do give you some suggestions, and we're not stuck to this, but just things to think about. Don't forget to pack your senior shirt. We'll remind you. I'll send you a remind and an email to remind you beforehand. And when you check in your luggage, we'll ask you if you have it. Typically, when we take our group picture, we all wear it. Will you still be in the picture if you don't have it? Yes. But you'll be noticeable. So I'll send a reminder about the senior trip pictures. Dr. Burns is going to go over some of the expectations of behavior.
So I get the fun job of having to, talk about some of the rules. Parents, I need you to understand, I am responsible at the end of the day for all of your children. I wear that responsibility seriously. I leave with 150, I want to come back with 150. I don't play when it comes to issues, lack of following rules, or anything. I need you to have a serious conversation with your child about what I'm speaking about tonight, because I can't play. If there is an issue where behavior is outside of the expectations that we've outlined for you that are on this slide and in your packets, you run the risk of being sent home. I sent somebody home last year, 2 people. They did not make it into a park. Okay, so I need you to be very clearly understanding what I'm saying. We expect the rules to be followed. What are the big rules that we're concerned with? Okay? You must follow the curfew rules. I don't care what it's like in your house. In my house in Disney, our curfew is the time that we set for you. This may be different than how you exist at home, and that's fine. But in my house, because you're my guest, for the couple days, I have a curfew. We will tell you clearly what the curfew is. We need you to be back by that time. We're working on lates as a school. We are down 20% year over year in the amount of lates that our students are coming to school on time with. I need 100% on-time attendance when it's time to be back. We have to have that. Okay, it's very critical because we need to know where everybody is. I can't be waiting for this one, waiting for that one. It doesn't work that way. You'll remain in your assigned room and not come out at night. This is the biggest one that's going to get you immediately sent home. Okay, when we put you into bed, I guess, when the chaperone does their final check, and we tuck you in, the expectation is that you stay there. You don't come out. There is absolutely no reason to come out after the curfew. So if you need to get water, ice, whatever, soda, you have up until the curfew time. And after that, you are in your room for the night. That's it. We can't have any other kind of leaving the room. Again, that's what gets you sent home. Because I don't know what you're up to. I don't care what you're up to. I need you in the room and staying there. Now, if it's an absolute emergency, the security person would come out, tell the security person. They will then notify one of the adults, and then we will handle the situation as we need to. But absolutely, you're staying in your rooms. And you can't, after the curfew, you are in your room. You can't say, well, I went to so-and-so. No, you can't go into anybody else's room. Everybody's in their room. Right, yes, so there is, once we sort of like check you out in the morning, we hold the passes. We're holding your room keys so that there's no reason to go back to the room. Okay? Let me say that again. Once we collect your room key, there is no going back to the room. There's also no going to the front desk and trying to, schmooze somebody. No. Once you leave the room, you are out for the day until the appointed time that the chaperones will be, usually we're all together by the pool, we hand out the keys, and then you have a little bit of time to swim, eat, do whatever, until we tuck you in at night. Okay, but for the day, you need to have everything with you that you need, or you have to buy it. And, I've forgotten things I had to buy along the way, just kind of the way it is. You will remain in your room. Students will remain at the Disney parks parks in the assigned hotel. You can't go visiting anywhere else. Let's just leave it there. You cannot ride an Uber. You can't catch a taxi. You can't rent a car. Whatever you're thinking you might want to do, you can't. Okay? We only ride Disney transportation. Again, we're in Florida. We are 1,000 miles from home. Parents, I do not want to have to wake you up with a phone call that something is going wrong. Again, I wear that responsibility seriously. I need you to convey that to your children. If this is the first time that they are away from you, set your own expectations that you don't want a phone call from Dr. Burns. Because if I have to call you and if I have to send your child home, you will bear the increased expense of flying your child home, but also the chaperone. And depending on when it is, you might be flying the chaperone back to Florida. So I flew down to Florida, let's say on Thursday. On Friday, I was on a plane back to this area, hand off the children, get back on the plane, and fly back to Florida. So I did a whole lot of flying in a short amount of time, but we will do that. Again, I don't play. Please understand that. And there's no arguing. If you don't follow the rules, you're sent home. It's too much of a risk for us. I have 150 students. There's so many of us. And I have to be conscious of the safety and security of each and every one of your children. Okay, so that message needs to be reinforced at home. That's my ask of you and my expectation, to be quite honest. It's too big of a deal. These are your children. We want to make sure everything goes smoothly. Those are really my pieces. Follow the rules. If you can't follow the rules, we got bigger issues. But the consequence of not only if I have to fly you home and somebody back, you also run the risk of losing prom, graduation, any of the other senior activities. Because then I can't trust that you will follow the rules at those outside venues or other activities as well. We would have a parent meeting and we would clearly spell out then what the additional consequences would be. So please understand that is part of the contract you will sign, but just have that conversation with your children. Okay, we want to have a good experience. I've been to Disney, this is probably my 15th senior trip. I enjoy going, that's why I volunteer every year. I don't volunteer to fly back and forth, but I do it if I have to. But I do enjoy the experience with your children because it is a lot of fun for them. For some, it's the first time they're away from home, away from their parents or siblings, things like that. And we see growth. And especially since I've known your children, I've been here long enough to have known them when they were freshmen, now they're seniors, they're going to be leaving us soon. Okay, the countdown. What's the countdown number to graduation? About 120 days, right? It's about 120 days to graduation. The time will be here before we know it. So we really want to enjoy this experience and have a lot of fun with it in these last couple of months. All right? This is really one of the starts of the final activities as we go through the end of the year for the senior class. So we're really looking forward to it. This is step one. Taking care of business in the classroom is step two. And then we go on from there with all the fun things that we're planning for the end of the year.
In addition to transportation and curfew, that was near and dear to us after the last year. But also remember, that also is like alcohol, smoking, vaping. Those weren't good mentioned to those as much because we're still.
No vapes.
Don't do it. So Ms. Roscoff, before I took her position with Ms. Roscoff, her speech every single time was, the Disney World, please don't mess. There is a Disney World jail. It's a real thing, right? They are actively in the park. They may not even look like police police officers, but they're there, and if it looks like high school-age kids are vaping, or drinking, or doing things in the park, they take you to a Disney World jail, where they call me as your contact, and then your parents. And then if it gets to the Disney World police, that's like a little bit more out of our control, that we're on whatever they say will happen. So I just want to reiterate, it's not just a curfew that matters to us, but it's also drinking, smoking, vaping, all that can get you in trouble. So we don't want to see any of that. Stealing, yeah, stealing, well, that's another good one. Yeah, that's not here, it's been happening. So that's, if you really want something to see that, Amazon it to your house, and it will be there for half the price. Okay? Disney is expensive, it's just that it's the way it is, but please don't get caught stealing, drinking, smoking, vaping, not flying curfews. Disney starts, they will prosecute you for stealing.
If the police are involved, the Orange County Sheriff shows up. One time there was a guy who appears at the door, there was an issue, he had 5 guns on him. I mean, it's insane, they all mess around. So be very careful in what you're doing, but leave the vapes at home. If we find them, then school rules apply, okay? And if we have to send you for drug testing, I do carry the alcohol sensors, I have those. If we suspect anything, we will have to send you out for testing. We can't pay for the testing because we don't have the agreement, so if there's an issue, that's going to be at your parents' expense. Again, and that's Florida, who knows what the insurance, regulations and rules, for your parents' policy would apply there.
Right, and so we say all this because we want you to have the best time. It truly is. We say it is so much fun. You're going to get to see your chaperones in a new life. We're really fun people. But you also are going to have the best time running around Disney World with your best friends in the last months of high school. But we just want you to make your choices so that you can do that. I just want to mention real quick who all our chaperones are. Obviously, I will be there, Dr. Burns, Miss Barnes, Miss Dollarton, my your class advisor, Miss Liana will be on the trip, Mr. Chivarella, Mr. Dominio, and Mr. Arabia back there. Mr. Manahan will also be on the trip, Miss Messiah, there she is, and Miss St. Clair. Did I miss anybody? Miss Freeman, our nurse, will also be with us. Right? She came with us 2 years ago and had a great time. So we are all here to make sure they have a good time. We're not going to be there holding your hands. A lot of times we'll see you at breakfast, you'll text us, we're going to a park, and then we say, hey, you need to start at the hotel by 10:30 to get your room keys, and then we see you again, right? And we just hope that you are having the best time, making the best memories. If you need us at any time, you will have our contact, and you can text us, or maybe you do want to ride with us and see how cool we are. You can do that, but we'll be having our own fun on the rides, and you can go away and grab that also. The other things I just want to mention, we're almost done, we'll take some questions. Ms. Permit, our nurse, she will have to bind her with all medical forms. Her room will be centrally located. We'll make sure that everyone knows where her room is. You need a Band-Aid because you wore the wrong shoes, or something more important happens. She is there for all of that. All meds must be administered by our nurse. Okay? Now, if you have a prescription that means like it's in a time matter, it is your responsibility to communicate with the nurse where you're meeting up. She'll meet you. She's met people in lines, of rides, right? Just so that you get your medication on time, right? We are willing to go find you where you are, but you need to communicate. She shouldn't have to hunt you down to get you your meds. So we just want to make sure that you know that you're responsible. She's, got an open door that you can ask her what you need. But if you have specific timelines, make sure that you're responsible to communicate with her to arrange or lead us. Just a reminder, parent and student, to sign your contract. We're both not here tonight. You can hand it to my office as soon as you can. Are there any specific questions that you have? Yeah, just remember, so a lot of times people do dinner reservations reservations, they'll be at nicer restaurants, it's always super cute, you can tell, like, which day. If you're doing your reservations, you're not gonna be able to come back to the hotel and change into your cute little, like, button-up shirt and your cute outfit. You'll have to bring them with you. You students usually put that in your bag for the day. I can't recommend it enough, bring a water bottle. There's free water if you want to fill up your water bottle, but if you want to buy water in Disney World, it's $12. So bring a water bottle. You can fill them up everywhere. Truly, there's a water fountain everywhere, but the water is $12 per bottle. There's a question. Okay. What time is the curfew? That's a great question. So every day is different for the curfew. We kind of bank off of like where we are. The first night's easy because we're back in the hotel together. By the time you check in, it's usually sometime between 10:30 and like 11ish is usually our curfew. Every time I go on by the end, we're like, okay, I'll check in at like, we by like 11:15, and then they text me, can you please come by earlier? We're so tired, we just want to go to bed. I'll do it. So usually we'll communicate with you, it changes every night. Sometimes if the fireworks are a certain night and we know the bus crews are going to the fireworks, we'll say, that's fine, go to fireworks as soon as we're done, quickly get back to the buses, text us when you're on your way back, and then we'll swing by the pool for you. We're usually sitting right by the pool at a table chit-chatting for when you come back. If you are running late, we take the time, we do want you to come back at the same time, but just communicate with us. Fireworks are really the only thing that would sometimes hold you up buses. Any other questions? Sorry. Yes? I believe we're doing Spirit. We're doing Spirit with Ways. And you get, well, I think it's what we did last year with Spirit with Ways. We will do Spirit with Ways through Philly with Ways this time. Spirit typically, well, recently, you get no food or drink anymore, but we do get a voucher. I believe we'll still get that. We'll get a free snack voucher, drink and snack voucher. We should have time at the airport if you want to grab a snack before our flight. Yeah. We are at the All-Star Sports Hotel. When I sent out this presentation, the two slides after this are two just like YouTube videos or like a travel vlog person. The one does a tour of All-Star Sports and it gives a tour of the room, which I was going to tell you, this is really funny. They're Murphy beds. If you don't know what a Murphy bed is, the ones that like flip up into the wall. But it's so funny every year because kids go in for 4 people and there's one bed that's down and one bed that's up. And they all freak out. There's one bed in our room. All got together. 4 beds. But if you watch the video, it tells me that I will say it to you guys, but it's so funny every year. So there's a video of what the rooms look like if you want to see them beforehand. They're nice. They have everything you need. It's tight quarters. Everyone makes the rooms a mess. This is what it is. Just got to clean it last night. And then the other video is tips on how to eat cheaply, where you can get kids' meals that are good sizes. So there's just some good tips if you're looking to save a little money when you're there, but still get a good amount of food. I hope that was this on the presentation. Any other videos? Nope. Questions? Yeah. Yeah, so when you deliver something to the hotel, you just put it to All-Star Sports, and then you just do attention their name. They may, once you get there, they'll let their room numbers, and then they just go to the front desk to pick it up. They'll have their name and their room number on it. His name, and you'll get down there and he'll have the room number. Doesn't even necessarily have our school, but just his name and room number, and then they can pick it up at the front door. Any other questions? Yes, thank you. So if you did not grab your t-shirt, they'll still be back there to grab it. If you have a question for the nurse, also the PTA is back there if you want to buy your project graduation